What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Moguls. My name is Findlay-Shirras, and on today's show, we have a social media and video marketing expert who provides social media education and strategies to realtors. She's earned an MBA degree from St. Xavier University, has over 50 certifications, designations, and licenses in social media and real estate. Today, she travels the country teaching social media courses for the National Association of Realtors, REBAC, ASI, and many others. Has over 100,000 plus students. That is pretty cool. She's been featured on Forbes, New York Times, Riz Media, Inman, National Association of Realtors, CBS, and many other places. And before she was a real estate coach, she was a top producing realtor in Chicago and small business owner. She's also served on the board of directors for the third largest real estate board in the country. And in 2010, she was the youngest woman to be named Real Estate Educator of the Year. I had the pleasure of seeing her recently. I love her energy. I know you all will too. I love how she presents. So I am super excited for you to get to know and learn from Marki Lemons. Thank you, Marki, for being on the show.
Well, thank you for having me. When people read my bio, because when I get home, my husband wants to know what's for dinner, and my son wants to know where his socks are. And so they tell me all the time, "You're home now, baby. Welcome back." And they just reduce you to being wife and mother. But I appreciate you for having me on your show today.
Thanks. Now, one of the things that I love about what you do when you present, and I saw you do this, and then when I did my research, I saw you do it again and again and again. And you have one of the best intros for yourself, which as a speaker, educator, like you've got to be good at that. And so I want you to introduce yourself like you have in the past, especially when you speak and educate. And then after, I want you to let people know why you do that, why you say what you say, and how you came up with it.
What's up, world? This is your girl, Marki Lemons Rao, social media speaker and Facebook Live host. I teach realtors how to earn up to a 2,682% return on investment by utilizing social media and technology.
So walk us through that introduction and why you say it the way you say it, and how you constructed it.
Well, it developed itself over time by using Facebook. And I realized that I say the same thing every single time I introduce myself on Facebook. But to me, real estate professionals, because we're entrepreneurs, we need to have a elevator pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And generally when you ask people what they do, they start stumbling and they got to get themselves together. And I tell you exactly what I do, right? And I tell you how I can help you. So you want to be direct as a real estate professional, and you want to tell people what you can do for them. So if you noticed, I don't mention awards, licenses, designations, anything. It's all about what I can do for my fellow realtors. And that is teach you how to earn up to a 2,682% return on investment. And so I wrote it down. I memorized it, but then I needed to make it human. And it came human when I think about Facebook and live stream and video. So one of my girlfriends actually told me, we were doing a webinar series together. And she says, "Marki, you know what? The content you provide, it is excellent." She says, "But I need something different." I'm like, "What you mean different?" She says, "I need Facebook Live personality to show up to the webinar." And I knew exactly what she meant, because I'm a ham, I'm a little silly, but I still give those nuggets. At the moment I brought Facebook Live Marki to the webinar, instantly I could tell that the dynamics of the webinar changed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Totally.
And so just bringing the energy, it doesn't have to be boring. I'm real direct, and I know how to simplify things. So if one story doesn't get it for you, I'm going to tell you another story because I need it to resonate. And a lot of people aren't good at storytelling. The reason I think that I'm good at it is because I actively engage with these tools and use them personally every single day. So I know the pros, the cons, the headaches, the fact that I've sat in this office and wanted to cry because yesterday it worked a certain way. And I know if I clicked here and the drop down menu came, I needed to click there. But the next day it wasn't working that day. And I wanted to throw every last one of these devices out of the window. I said, okay, I'm not the only person having this problem. Let me retell that story with the same emphasis of what I was feeling at the moment it was happening to me.
Yeah. I remember when I first started doing video and podcast, I talked the way I talk with people in my office, and that's a good way of talking to people in order to get them excited and motivated. And then I listened to how it sounded on video and on podcast, and it sounded a whole lot duller. And so I remember I was like, that's what I sound like. They're like, no, no, no. So my videographer was like, no, Grant, you got to turn it up a little bit on video and on podcast, on webinar, in order to get that excitement to come through the screen. So I definitely hear what you're saying. Now, one of the things you did in that pitch, where you have a big claim.
Yes, I do
And
have a big claim.
and one of the things that agents, I know my agents that I coach struggle with is, what is their big claim?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, well, I provide great service. I said, that's not a big claim. Well, I will tell my client no if that's what it takes. I'm like, that's not a big claim. Well, I will take what always be there for them when they call. And I'm like, that ain't a big claim either. And so I'm sure you've had to talk to agents about helping them construct some claims that really do, grab someone's attention and make a person interested. What are some
So
of your tips on that?
Well, so let me tell you what my big claim is. My big claim is I am the shortest, darkest, roundest person in the room with the least amount of hair. Yet I create video content every single day because people do not care about how I look. They care if I can solve their buying and selling problems. And so when we're working with real estate professionals, one, I want them to think about what is their unique selling proposition, not what anyone else can go back and claim. And what is amazing, I don't care where I am, I can hold on to that claim. So I've had women come up to me and they're short and they're round, but none of them, their hair isn't as short as mine, right? And so I
Yeah.
said, no, you got to, it's all the components, sweetheart. And I'm claiming all those components in one. So they want to look at their unique selling proposition. And we want to dive into this so that it means something to the people you're working with. And for me, working with realtors, I'm trying to get them over the fear of creating video content. And a lot of my videos online, and I've had great engagement online, you will see I don't have on any makeup. Do I have on makeup sometimes? Yes. But I need people to understand that people are connecting with me based on the content. So not only do you need to say it, you need to have social proof that demonstrates that's who you are.
Got it. What have been some of your favorite ones that you've heard realtors say or make up?
Honestly, I'm not hearing anything that resonates with me, which is a problem.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
And
well,
yes, nothing,
if
nothing.
you
I'm thinking
think, if
about
you
them.
think, how about this? For anyone listening or watching, if you think you got one, put it in the comments, send Marki an email, and let her tell you if it's good enough. How about that? Let's do that.
Yes,
For everyone
let's do
listening,
that.
watching, let's put that in the comments and let people know what your unique selling proposition is, and then
Wow.
we'll dissect it.
You know what? That's shameful though, that not one person comes to mind. I know who's good because I've researched them, but not one elevator pitch or unique selling proposition that I've heard that I'm just like, oh yeah, that is the bomb. Yeah, no.
Hmm.
Nuh-uh, haven't seen it, haven't heard it.
All right, challenge to
Shameful.
everyone listening and watching. Now, let's back up to when you started video.
Yes.
Um, why did you get started with video? And when was that? How long ago was that? Because some people may look at you and be like, "Wow, you're so amazing at it." And I'm going to take a wild guess. You've been doing it for a while. So it's like, why did you start it? When did you get started? And like, what was, how did you do it?
So at first, video was painful for me. And I was the person. I needed to go have my makeup professionally done. I needed to get a fresh haircut and I needed to buy a new dress because you could not see me in the same identical dress. And so I had video content, and it was because people urged me that I needed video content. So I'm not a tech person. I've made myself tech-y. It's not natural to me because I have an MBA from 1996. None of this existed. And so the first people were Lady Anita Clinton and then Freddie Taylor. They pushed me. So we did a couple of videos. I only had a couple of videos. And then Craig Grant, he pushed me. And the day that Facebook Live came to the Android device was the day that I embraced video. I was jealous. I had been waiting for it to come to the Android device because Apple users had it first, so I was quite annoyed. And it came to my device. I was at Williams-Sonoma with my youngest son. He was taking a cooking class. And when I saw that initial interaction, and I'm spinning in the store with no makeup on, and people are like, "Oh, walk me through the store. What is your son cooking?" I have been hooked ever since. So whatever day that was, it was a February, probably 3 to 4 years ago, when Facebook Live came to the Android device. That is the day that I embraced video and have been creating an abundance of video content ever since.
Awesome. Now, back then, what was your reason for starting video? And now, when you think about the power of video, why are you still doing video and doing it more?
Well, I've always looked at the trend. So one, I knew I needed to use social media, and then I knew before I started using video that I needed video. What keeps me using video is the ability to take one video and to repurpose it into multiple forms of content, whether that is my blog post, because I'm going to do audio to text or video to text transcription, whether it's a podcast, whether it's an article, whether it's just a post on Instagram and I need words. I'm going back to that video content and I'm extracting every component of that video for online content. And there's no other form of content outside of video where you can create it once and repurpose it without recreating. And so the reason that I use it now is that, but then the engagement. I've never seen this type of engagement utilizing anything. So my live streaming video gets my most engagement. And then if it's personal content versus business content, it gets great engagement. But then I'm also using it for lead generation. So for me, video right now is basically the solution to numerous problems.
So let's go deeper on this lead generation thing,
Yes.
because there's a lot of realtors go, well, I mean, I hear that video and content can help me generate leads, but I can buy leads, and I don't, what if it doesn't work, and then I don't buy leads, and then I spend my time and money on doing video, and then I don't end up with anything. We who do content, do video, know that there's problems with standard lead generation, with buying leads and receiving leads, and we know that video and content is a better way. It is a solution. So what are some of the problems that you see with lead generation that people need to be reminded of, maybe, that when you then compare to the benefits of video and how video does help you generate leads, it might encourage more people to feel confident in slowing down the ad spend and the time over here on the buying of the leads, and increase the time and the monetary investment over into video for lead generation?
Okay, so now this is a whole mouthful, but let me be clear with you about this process. We're spending $12 billion on lead generation. Because I'm an entrepreneur and essentially every dime I've made through being self-employed. When you come into the world of real estate, you are an independent contractor. Your job, and those who make the most money do so because they know how to generate their own lead. When you think about buying a lead, you have to think about the return on investment. You're going to make the least amount of money per transaction if you're buying leads from someone else. It's pure D, the numbers. period.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you want to earn the most amount of money, to me, you're supposed to be a fisherman. You're supposed to know how to get out here and know who needs your services and to position yourself in front of them. If not, you're going to always be at the mercy of someone else. Why did you even become an entrepreneur? So to me, just this whole concept that I'm buying all my leads from somebody else just doesn't make sense, because your livelihood is always based on another person's action and not you. Plus the return on investment. When I speak to my managing broker, he could do he's heavily vested, not as much anymore because he was creating content at the same time he was still buying leads. He was getting a 7% return on leads purchased from one of the top 5. 7%. You do a client appreciation event, you have your greatest lender and title company and attorney sponsor it, and he was seeing a 70% return from a client appreciation event.
Mm.
You do the math. And so you want to think about how, and here's the next thing. When you think about a lead, you have a 1 in 50 chance of converting that person, as opposed to when you meet people. You're out in the community, you're talking, you're working with your chamber of commerce. You have a 1 in 6 chance of converting that lead. At the moment you bring live streaming video, it is the next best thing to people interacting with you in real time, face to face. So now I'm shifting that pendulum, right, over to the 1 in 6 versus the 1 in 50 for the purchase. And if you don't start creating content, secret agents don't get found. So even if you're referred to me through some type of lead system, I'm still going to Google and research you before I do business with you on my number 1 purchase, plus the incubation time for me to decide that now is the time for me to buy or sell. When they're sitting at home doing a Google search for you, what are they going to find? Because people want to deal with thought leaders. They don't see anything, which is also why you're only going to get a 7% return. And so I'm consistently teaching my fellow realtors that they need to add 2,880 contacts to their customer relationship management system for every $100,000 they want to earn if their average price point is $250,000. And so now I need to know how you're going to add this. I'm going to add them via Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, because I have a call to action and I have a landing page that captures leads that then funnel into my customer relationship management system and my email marketing. So that was kind of a mouthful.
Can you explain how you got to that number? I mean, first of all, that was one of the best explanations of the downsides of lead generation, because hey, 7% return is a return. I mean, again, like, it's not that these things don't make money, but why are you in business? Why are you an entrepreneur? Where's the best ROI? That's what we have to make decisions of. So I love that explanation. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, the $2,000 contacts for every $100,000. How'd you get to that number? I'm a data freak, so I love when I hear stuff
I'll
like that.
send it to you, but so I'm affiliated with Exit Realty, and in our business plan, we have 2 different sheets. If your average price point is $250,000, if your average price is $300,000, and we look at how many leads you should generate every single day. But then we're looking at how many listing appointments versus how many listings you're going to take. Then we look at for every listing that you take, you're not going to close it. So the rule of thumb is 1 out of every 2 listings close. So in order to get to these 20 transactions that you would earn an average of $5,000, I need to start at the front end and look at the funnel and how it's going to funnel down. That means I need to add 2,880 contacts.
Love it. Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's go into some of your best strategies and ideas for, all right, I'm going to do a video. I'm going to do a Facebook Live. I'm going to do a video. What are some of the types of video that you find convert the best and create the best engagement for realtors?
So I do 2 types of videos. One video is not for lead generation. One video is so that people in my sphere of influence can get to know me. Those videos I tend to do from the car. I don't know what it is about car videos. They tend to perform quite well. So my top producing Get to Know Marki, or one of my thought processes, has been viewed about 30,000 times. It's called Crabs in the Barrel, and I talk about working together with people. But then I also have one on domestic violence, and both of my parents, well, my mother's deceased now, were recovering addicts. So I talk about the things learned from dope fiend parents. So people know me, like they feel like they know me. And I don't say and do things at the expense of others, but I tell people, I concentrate on the solution, not on the problems. And I would probably say even though the Crabs in the Barrel received the most views, my domestic violence video is the one that connected people. Like, people were inboxing me, saying they wish they had the courage to share their story. And it was because my father was abusive to my mother. And I didn't know how many people I went to grammar school, high school, and college with who also saw their mothers basically being attacked by their fathers. And so those videos let people get to know you. But in doing those videos, I really show people how you can still be pleasant, how you can smile every single day, because I am pleasant, and because I'm always smiling, people often think that that means that you've never been through anything. So I want people to know, look, we've all been through something. The question is, how do you handle that? So that's just one set of Get to Know Marki videos. My lead gen videos, what has worked excellent is two types of videos. I interview people who are more gregarious, outgoing than I am. So this morning I interviewed Nina Gonzalez, and we talked about getting financed to buy real estate today, especially with your tax returns. We talked about 100% financing programs. We talked about the I-10 program, and she will get leads and I will get leads. Now, today I did not treat her video as a lead gen video, because one, honestly, I forgot. So what will normally happen when it becomes lead generation is that I will add a link to it, and we will add a call to action. So I'll tell people, click on the link above, click on the link above, or click on the link below, click on the link below, contingent upon the platform that I'm on, and it will provide the information. I will not allow the person I'm interviewing to give out their information during the show, because people need to click on the link. And so far, I would probably say Stephanie Sowell, I've sent the most leads to. I want to think she's probably gotten about 40 leads from me, because we did a 203K video with a shortened URL that takes them to a landing page. So
Okay.
you have to have all this set up before you do the video.
Yeah. Okay, but that is how you make sure they convert. It's all these little details.
Yes.
Very cool. Do you have a checklist you give out for free if people give you their email and stuff like that with all these little details?
I have numerous things that I give away for free, and it's something different for each landing page, because a person with more landing pages generates more leads, because we can have more call to actions.
Yep. Okay.
So I have checklists, I have all sorts of resources available that if you click on the link and you give me the information. So here would be an example. With the video, let's say with Stephanie, it received 2,700 views. 202 people clicked on the link. 42 people provided their information. So I'm always looking at how many people clicked on the link and took the initial action, and how many people supplied me with their first name, last name, and email address.
Cool.
And I auto-deliver to them whatever it was I said I was going to deliver to them via the Facebook Live video.
So I have a few more questions I want to ask you, but I mean,
Not a problem.
Some people who who may be listening and watching will go, well, I can't do what Marki does.
Oh, yes, you can.
You've got you've got this energy, you speak well, there's no ums and ahs anymore, and you've got this, and this is one of the things I appreciate. You've got this amazing cadence or rhythm. You know how to speak to educate, keep the attention up, but make sure it's nice and clear. And so that some people go, I can't do that, but it's like, well, it's not like she just snapped her fingers and it became like that. So how much of that is you versus how much of that is training and practice?
I've always been a ham. And so standing up and talking in front of people has always been my thing. I will tell you this, born and raised on the south side of Chicago in a community called Inglewood. And I have all of the isms of being born and raised in the hood. I had to tweak some of them in order to flow the way that I flow. I went to Toastmasters. I'm a member of the National Speakers Association. The one thing that I think every realtor should join Toastmasters. It is
Mm.
cost effective. It's maybe $50 per year. They help you to work on your ums and your ahs. Keep this in mind. I'm not going to purchase something from a person who can't articulate the value of it. If you stand before me and you're trying to sell me anything and we have to go through a bunch of ums and ahs, I can tell you right now, I might think you're the greatest person in the world. I might trust you, but you just lost me. Toastmasters,
Love
best
it.
investment in yourself.
Now, some of the people that are watching this, they are brokers. Some of them are coaches and trainers. Some of them are tech companies who have a big training component amongst their product and service. And one of the things I know I've thought about is creating classes for continuing education on certain topics. And you have created 15. So if someone wants to do that, explain to us, what is the process?
So a couple of things have changed since that bio. I'm probably at about 350,000 students globally, and I'm probably at about 100 different continuing education courses. One of the reasons I have so many licenses is that in any state that I teach continuing education, most of them want you to be a licensed instructor or continuing education instructor. And so when I came into real estate, what I realized early was the fact that pre-license school does not teach you how to sell real estate. It teaches you about consumer protection, period. So you have this license and you know bupkis about selling real estate. There's a very small percentage, 2-3% of realtors who are second, third generation realtors. Therefore, they do know how to sell real estate because they were born and raised in the business. The other 97% have no clue what they need to do. Well, in keeping that in mind, when I got licensed, I didn't even attend pre-license school. And I instantly realized I didn't know nothing about selling real estate. So I started to take designations and certifications soon after I earned my license
Mm.
because I knew I didn't know. And I accepted that. Marky, you don't know nothing. And in taking those designations and certifications from the National Association of Realtors, I looked at the content that they were putting out. Well, fast forward. So I came into real estate July 31st, 2003 as a broker. So I've been in the business since 99, was a loan originator. 2003, decided to be a broker. 2004, top 10% of realtors in the city of Chicago did about $12 million in volume. 2006, my mentor tells me, Marki, I need you to become a licensed real estate educator. In becoming a licensed real estate educator, my goal in anything that I do is to earn the most amount of money per hour, working the fewest hours possible. So I do want to maximize my earning potential because I provide value. So I've been called myself a real estate instructor. Then I changed my title to trainer. Then I changed my title to a speaker. Well, at the same time that I became licensed as an instructor, the Chicago Association of Realtors reached out to me to produce a short sale class for them. And I'm putting all this work into this short sale class. And there's a fellow instructor of mine, Pashan Julian. He's also a Illinois Real Estate Educator of the Year. He said, Marky, I wouldn't sell my content to them. Tell them you want to keep your course and you can do some type of licensing or door share with them, but do not sell them that course. Well, the first time I taught the course, I made 3 times the amount of money they were willing to pay me to create the course. And I went on to put 5,000 people through what became the accredited distressed property representative. So with me taking the designations and certifications, understanding that you need a title and you need to have a bio and learning objectives and a timed outline, now when I'm creating curriculum, I'm applying that to every class that I'm developing. So I have classes approved through Arella, where I've done partnerships with Hondros College. I have courses approved in the state that is viewed as the hardest state to get a course approved in, which is West Virginia. Go figure. Because I am applying that structure to the class. I provide a handout and PowerPoint. So I'm well over, probably at about 100 different courses approved. Actually just got 2 approvals last week for Nevada for digital marketing, and then for generating buyer leads quickly. And those I didn't even know they were going to apply for continuing education, but yeah, quite a few licenses at this point for continuing education in any state in this country.
And so is there certain components that you have to put in there in order to get approved, even from the hard ones?
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to have a title. I have to have my description. I
Yeah.
need to have my learning objectives, and I have to have a timed outline. Most states, you only have to deliver 50 minutes of curriculum for every 1 hour of credit provided. So if it's a 3-hour course, I'm not providing 180 minutes, I'm providing 150 minutes. And what I do is I have a 15-minute break and then 15 minutes at the end. You have some states like Minnesota, and in Minnesota, what has to happen is, according to their licensing, they actually have a state rule that I have to give them a break every 50 minutes.
Interesting.
Something with the Department of Labor there.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. All right.
So you have to know those little rules, because you might have to always tweak it. At this point, West Virginia was the hardest one, and I ended up sending Dr. Necka a 33,000 word document in order to get that course approved. I don't know why you need 33,000 words for a 3-hour, which is a 150-minute face-to-face course. But I work with, I don't write for a lot of people now, only because of the time constraints. And now, because I'm teaching social media and technology, I'm looking at 1 hour to 3-hour course approvals.
Got it. All right, well, let's get into some fun stuff, because I know whenever we talk about technology and social media, everyone always wants to know technologies to use, tools to use, software to use, like what's the go-to stuff that people love and can't live without. So when it comes to you and doing video and doing social media, what are your favorite tools for realtors?
Well, one, right now, let me say this. I shift my tools according to what the trends say. This year, I am focused on Messenger, stories, and live streaming video. I have a camera that is not on my computer, so I have a Logitech camera. I have a Yeti mic that I'm not using because I'm using this over-the-head piece. I was told do not use Bluetooth connection, use USB because it gives you better audio and clarity. A lot of my content I'm creating on the go from the palm of my hands. I'm not getting ready to do this process. So to me, audio is definitely important, because even if you can't get great video, you could still take that audio and turn it into a podcast. So that's why I have the Yeti mic. And if you don't know what a Yeti mic is, let me pull this over here for you. So I have the almighty Yeti mic. I have my over-the-head.
All the best people. They all use
the best people. Yeah. Wait, and who's your headphone?
Jabra. I'm doing Jabra.
Oh, here's the brand right here.
Sennheiser, yeah, Sennheiser and Jabra, they're both good.
Yeah.
I've
And
tried
so
so many.
the mic, I have probably more tripods than the world should allow. The only thing that I've invested in that I don't believe I've gotten my money's worth out of is the Mevo. I need to use it a little bit more. It was an expensive tool, and I did not get.
Is that the camera that kind of goes multiple angles?
Yes. So what it is a 4K camera that it's a little circle that looks like a cylinder.
I heard good things about that.
Yeah. So it does great work. It's just that I don't use it enough. And my favorite tool right now, this is 100% just fun, is the this is the Insta 360. So a 360 camera. This is where I'm having so much fun. It is unreal. So when you think about this camera, when we're shooting video, we lead a person, right? We lead their eyes to where we want them to go. With 360, it's taken a 360 view and people can swipe over it and go wherever they want to go, and you don't have to lead them. And
Mm.
consumers want to have consumer control. So this is the one that goes on the Android with the C port. The ones for Apple look a little different. They're all right up under $200, but it's an Insta
So
360
so if a
camera.
realtor wanted to do, because I'm really big on community content, if they want to be a local market expert. So if they wanted to create community videos, 360 community videos, you get that camera, you plug it into your phone.
Yep. And here's the thing that might throw people off. Not only do you plug it into your phone, you actually plug it into the charging jack. So you are holding it upside down.
Mm.
And you can do photos, you can do videos, you can do videos that stream live to Facebook, or you can do videos that stream live to YouTube.
And so how does the three so the person stands there in the community, they're walking around the community doing a community video, and then when the person's watching it on Facebook or YouTube, they can move it around and see the different views, or
They can they
where
can
are they moving it around?
so they can go onto the video, and if they swipe their finger in any direction, the video swipes. So let's say I'm holding it at eye level, right? And you
Yeah.
decide to swipe up. Now you can see my shoes. And you decide to swipe down. Now you can see the sky. And you decide to swipe left. Now you can see what was over in the right-hand corner. So it looks like it's a still frame face to
Yeah.
face, but as you swipe, you can do 360 inside of that still frame.
And people are doing that on Facebook. So you do the video that goes on Facebook, you do the video that goes on YouTube, and they can do it on those platforms.
Yes, they can.
Very
So
interesting.
this is and people want 360, we aren't giving it to them. So this is an inexpensive fix. If you don't have the budget for like some of these other 360 systems, get you the Insta 360 camera, have a little fun with it. It allows you to render other forms of content, like looks like you're going into outer space and it spins around and all kind of strange things, but have fun.
Cool.
This is a fun tool, but it's what people want right now. And because stories are so popular right now, I'm using InShot, INSHOT a lot because, well, one, I can add those words to the top and to the bottom
Yeah.
like Gary Vee is doing,
Yeah.
but then I can take a horizontal video and put it into a vertical frame, or a square into a vertical frame. And so vertical video is at the top of the list, stories, Facebook and Instagram stories for 2019. So I'm already investing in tools so that I can be where people are supposed to be this year.
So let's talk about the future, because a lot of people in the industry are talking about the changes. You know, there's changes to the brokerage model, there's new technologies, AI, ML, machine learning, VR, blockchain. Amazon's got a real estate service division now. Google and Facebook are trying to get into it. So when you think about the future of real estate, what business do you think real estate agents are really in? And how does that dictate what they should be doing over the next, and thinking about doing and being over the next 3 to 5 years, to make sure that no matter what happens with the technologies and with these platforms, that they will still have value in the marketplace and they will still be able to have a good income and a good living?
Well, the average age of a realtor right now is right at about 52 years of age, and we're often the industry that people come into when they retire or their third or fourth job.
Mm.
Honestly, I believe that we need to start investing in educating ourselves about technology and the different platforms, only because that's what the consumers are using. And you have to communicate with consumers and their preferred method of communicating. So one of the reasons that these companies are able to come about and definitely not steal, but earn market share is because they're communicating, they understand consumer behavior, and they're communicating with people in real time. And so we, one, need to retrain our minds to become lifelong learners, but to understand the importance of technology. One of the quotes that I use quite a bit is technology will never replace a realtor, but a realtor with technology will replace a realtor without technology. When I'm seeing millennials enter the marketplace right now, they are not complaining about the generations before them. You know, the baby boomers, Gen X, they're just not complaining about us. We mean nothing to them because they're able to come in and leverage the social media, the technology, where we aren't able to do that. So one of the learning curves to getting started right is to learn real estate and then to understand technology. All they need to do is understand real estate. And so the future, we're definitely going to have more new models that are coming into the marketplace. Real estate is all about being an entrepreneur. If they don't fall into or allow themselves to be overwhelmed, right, by the fact that they need to be an entrepreneur, they're not going to, this is not going to be the industry where people believe that they can just come in and make a great living, because all of the models are going to change. And there's no way today, though, we will keep up with the current rate of change, but we need to understand we have to learn something new every day.
Awesome.
Every day.
Every day. Now, how can people get in touch with you? I know you're starting a new podcast. I know you've got a Facebook page. I know you got courses online. How can people continue to engage with you and your learning? Because I hope everyone understands that she has got some great content, even more
Well,
about what
thank
she
you
talked
very
about.
much. So first of all, Marki Lemons, MarkiLemons.com would be one of the places. But we have a very active private Facebook group called Real Estate Live. If you just type in Real Estate Live over on Facebook, in that group, we have built out the social learning units. I think we're probably at about 21 social learning units where we have video, PowerPoint, handouts, infographics around just one subject. Inside of that unit, we've built out over 20 of those. So Real Estate Live. And then we are in the process of launching Social Selling Made Simple with Marki. You can find it over on iTunes within 3 days of today. And so I would love for you to make sure that you have iTunes and Stitcher downloaded to your device, and that you go and you find Social Selling Made Simple with Marki, and that you check me out.
Amazing. Well, that's it for today's show, everyone. I hope you get that. One, you got to get into video. Two, rewatch this again if you need to listen to some of the technologies and tools and tips and strategies that she shared. And three, you've got to be bold and be different and try something new and play around and have some fun playing around with video. So thank you so much, Marki, for being on the show. And as always, if you guys have not subscribe to the show so you can learn more from real estate moguls just like Marki, and so you can be great in real estate.